Hello and welcome back to game number 2 of StarLadder Star Series Season 8, Day 2, Game 2. So we are here with a match for, of course, StarLadder, and I actually am wondering if this is actually showing on Dota TV. So there might be a remake, but we'll see if that's actually going to happen. Another one, because this is of course a remake after the draft was already done. Of course, with me, as you just heard, is G Advance or General Advance. What do you want to be called anyways?
You can just call me G Advance, or some people even shortened it to Advance. I know people on my Twitch always call me Set My Jibs, because that's the name of the Twitch channel, which is sometimes almost irritating. I feel like I shouldn't have chosen that name, but interesting drafts here from both the side of aSpera as well as Ozlik Gaming. Ozlik Gaming, they picked up my favourite new meta hero. It's the Bristleback, the manliest friggin' Sonic the Hedgehog in the world.
I actually think that he's carrying around a Gem of True Sight, or the way that it used to look, because that's the way that the Gem of True Sight used to look, right? I think so.
Yeah, that is how the old gem used to look. Yeah, it had the little like necklace sort of thing on it. Now it's just a big rock.
Yeah. Shame that it's lost its power. But yeah, I'm very excited to see Ozlik Gaming again. It's been a while, and they were one of the teams that joined StarLadder in Season 6, and they really impressed me. This Roshan? What's wrong with Roshan? Nothing is wrong with Roshan. But they really impressed me. They have great team fight, and their main strength at the moment, or at that moment, and I think still is, that if the other team initiates with aSpera, which is something that aSpera definitely does, then they have a great way of counter-initiating. That's their strength, just replying on what the enemy team does in fights, that is. So let's take a look at the exact drafts, as indeed Tron, the player of OSG, will be playing the Bristleback, is on this top lane. He'll be supported by Obi-Wan Banan on the Crystal Maiden. In the mid lane, we have got ourselves a mid-Venomancer, something that I really like. Chomi will be doing that one, and on the bottom lane, it's a dual lane with Big Num on the Lifestealer, and stand-in Ouija Zig, also not an unfamiliar name, will be playing the Lich here on this bottom lane.
Yeah, and on the side of aSpera, we have Inquisitor. He's going to be picking up the Abaddon, going into a dual lane with Cat for KM, old school player then, who's recently come back to the scene. In the middle lane, we're going to have Sharfik. He's picking up the Timbersaw, not a hero we normally see him on, but do we see him on anything other than Storm Spirit anymore? And on the bottom lane, it's going to be Blah Blah Foo and Wall Eater. That's going to be the Viper and the Visage.
Yeah, I actually yesterday, of course, aSpera had 2 games yesterday, and they had the Timbersaw and the Storm Spirit picked up in the same game, I believe. But the Storm Spirit was played by Wall Eater at that point, and the Timbersaw played by Sharfik. So yeah, it's interesting, this kind of change in his playstyle. Perhaps they realized, like previous season, they only won when Sharfik was playing his Storm Spirit, and I want to make a change, so they maybe practice more with other things. But yeah, that could be. It's a shame though, because Sharfik's Storm Spirit definitely something that you have to watch at least once, because it's just so enjoyable.
Yeah, he's one of the most aggressive Storm Spirit players out there. We saw him picking up Urn last season on like a ton of his games and just running into the enemy jungle pretty much as soon as he hit level 6. It was kind of insane. Like you said, aSpera, one of those teams that had a ridiculous win rate when they picked up the Storm Spirit, but then people started realizing, they started banning it out, and aSpera quickly dropped to the bottom half of the what do you call it? The standings. That's the
standings. Apparently, the first first minutes of the game went with an overlay problem, but you know, fixed, and no kills happened during that time, so you know, one can breathe.
Exactly. You didn't miss anything important.
Yeah.
It's fine. We've got lanes. We can. People have last hit. It's fine.
Yeah. All they needed to do was close their eyes and listen to the soothing sounds of our voices, and they would be okay. And no more panic was needed.
Yeah, and I really actually like the lanes coming out from aSpera here, even though I'm a little bit worried just because it is aSpera and they're playing without their sort of key hero, which was the Storm Spirit. They also used a lot of Doom, I think, and Inquisitor played a ton of that. And that was pretty successful too, but as soon as those started getting banned, this team pretty much fell apart last season. But They've got a really nice combination on the top lane that I'm absolutely a huge fan of. They have Cat 4KM up on the Weaver with an Abaddon supporting. Now, if you don't know, this is one of the most annoying and ridiculous to deal with combinations because Weaver is already brilliant at diving. Giving him as Abaddon as a support to give him that extra bit of effective HP makes him an absolute pain to deal with. Of course, they've got a Bristleback going against him who doesn't really care so much, and he's actually picked up a ton of tangos and stuff, so he should be able to deal with that to a certain extent. It depends really though on Obi-Wan Banan, who could be caught out and killed very, very quickly by the Weaver.
Yeah, he has to be very, very careful there on that top lane. I like the dual lane going out from aSpera. It's scary. It's annoying. At least Bristleback, I should say, he's one of the heroes that can actually deal with it. We might actually have a go on this Viper, as he tries to TP himself out from this, and he should be able to. That's the right way to do it. Big Nom, he is actually he wasn't really doing that well here on this bottom lane in terms of last hits, but now that the Viper is gone, he can get himself some last hits. He is a 5-1 at this point, with Viper sitting on 19 for 10, even though he just got harassed away. It's the Venomancer that is doing best of everybody in terms of last hits, so you can hear the joy in my voice perhaps, because I'm happy that he is doing such a good job. 22-5, he's got himself a bottle, he's got himself some boots. He won't be able to kill off Sharfik, fair enough, but he is definitely doing really well, and he is showing off his prismatic courier as well.
Also showing off some great use of Gale then, just to completely whiff on Sharfik.
Yeah.
I just want to put you down because you like the solo mid Veno, and I think it's awful. But it is interesting and cool to see. We don't want to see, you know, the same stuff all the time. True. And yeah, he does actually have that really fancy courier. Wow.
Oh, Big Nom, careful there. Viper is such an annoying hero to lane against. Like, he is the annoyingest. Most annoying. I know that annoys.
The annoyingest.
Yeah.
I like that. No, we're going to use it from this point on. It's fine.
Annoyingest. That's not a word. That's so stupid. The most annoying one. But that doesn't seem to describe the annoyingness that I feel coming up from the Viper when I lane against him.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have to swear to really just point out how annoying
yes.
Viper actually is to deal with. He's one of the most difficult laners to deal with. He doesn't have a fantastic mid-game presence, which is why generally you see things like mech and such picked up on him, because otherwise he doesn't really achieve much in the mid-game. But yeah, and he's great versus Lifestealer as well. He's perfect versus these heroes who have to go in. And Oslet Gaming, as we just saw, they don't have a stun in this lane. So as far as I'm concerned, Visage and Viper can never die. As long as they have TP scrolls on them, if they die, it's just straight feeding. There's nothing else that they can do to get themselves killed.
Yeah. It's the same thing, I guess, can be said for aSpera's lane. They don't have any disables either, but they actually have got... Oh, wait a second. Perhaps they can make a go on the Bristleback here. Looks like they are. Nah, they can't anymore. They shouldn't anymore. Or will
yeah, he's
they?
also managed to pick up 7
7-1
1 charges. If they go into the tower here...
Oh, he's fine.
This is very dangerous.
Yeah. But yeah, no TP scrolls, or TP scrolls also needed on the side of OSG here on the bottom lane, because also no way of, you know, getting stunned up on the bottom lane by aSpera, but they just have a lot more damage coming out of them, so that's a big difference right there. Even though, saying that, I do realize that actually Visage has left the building and is now on the bottom lane, or middle lane rather, and perhaps wants to make something happen against that Venomancer, who is just having such a good time still. Still highest on last hits.
Yeah, he's doing really well for himself in the middle lane.
Yeah, oh, Lich! He cannot TP out in time! He did exactly the thing that you predicted, but Sharfik coming in, teleported in, making sure that Visage is gonna be there in the mid lane to take up the experience. In the meantime, Tron getting chased down, but apparently not chased down enough to get the kill going. But that is the first blood on the board. That was only the first kill at 7 minutes into this game. Oh, they're still not done diving but top, and it's gonna cost the Weaver his life. The shield not coming out in time for Inquisitor. You cannot do that up against that Bristleback. It's just too dangerous. Not if you don't have a shield to begin with.
Yeah, there's a ton of damage coming out from the combination of a Bristleback as well as a Crystal Maiden, and as soon as they lock you down under the tower, it's gonna hurt so badly. You really don't want to give up this lane. Really, you'd rather just wear them down, I think, on the side of aSpera on the top lane. The Bristleback is never going to be able to farm as well as the Weaver, but now that he's died, he's actually going in aggressive again. They popped the shield at just the wrong time, so he wasn't able to take off the Frostbite. They're going to go onto Obi-Wan Banan here, but they don't throw off another last hit. And he's going to survive from this. Inquisitor, though, he's looking like he's probably going to go down from this. He would try and suicide, but he doesn't have enough for a miscoil, and he's going to go down. Nice TP reaction from the Chomi then.
Yeah, and all that for attempt of a Crystal Maiden, and I actually think they could have gotten that if they didn't first go on the Bristleback, so slightly greedy from them, well slightly, just very greedy from them. They don't get a retaliation kill, and they give up a kill to the Venomancer. With Venomancer, the reason that we don't see him often as a hero that is actually farming is because later on in the game he won't be able to do that much apart from just hitting people and hoping that the team fights are going to be really long. The only reason that he is going to be a threat if he gets himself a lot of gold, and by getting kills, of course, he does get that gold.
Yeah, he's really able to outlane Sharfik here. Sharfik, now that he's managed to pick up level 6, he's going to be moving back into this lane again. But this isn't the sort of situation you normally expect from this player. Sharfik, generally a very snowball-orientated player. It's why he plays Storm Spirit pretty much every opportunity he can, because he's very, very reliant on getting an early start. So I really like this play from Oslic Gaming, to put a Venomancer versus him, who's guaranteed to just harass him down, make sure he can't, completely destroy his lane. He's doing well now, but yeah, he didn't have quite the start he would want, and you can see Chomi's just constantly being aggressive on him, putting down Plague Lords,
he can get the kill here. With the Poison Nova helping out, he teleports back to base, so that will help him, and that should actually help him keep alive. Yeah, kept alive long enough. In the meantime, on the bottom lane, there's a fight going on. It is Lich that has already dropped. Wall Eater might drop as well, but he tries to take Obi-Wan bottom with him. Won't be able to do that, as his teammate VIII drops in the mix from the Bristleback, who TP'd in to help out his team. That's 2 for 1. Not really worth it at all, because this bottom lane was going really well for aSpera up until that point.
Yeah, and a really crazy dive there, to be honest. Both teams have showed a willingness to TP people all over the map, no matter who they are. Diving in then against a Lifestealer, for instance, a Crystal Maiden, these are heroes that will lock you down under your tower and beat your ass early on, so we're not sure about all this constant over-aggression, although with dual lanes this is something that you will see happen a lot more. Both teams, you kind of want to be aggressive in dual lanes generally. You can't get secured farm on any of them unless you have a really nice dual lane with something like a Viper, so yeah, this is something we're seeing.
Yeah. I like it. I like the Viper, but I don't like that he's not being able to do that much. I also like the Venomancer, and I think that, I mean, it seems just like both teams, I want them to be able to do something, but they feel so passive. And they don't have lockdowns, and I think that's a big part of it. Like, neither team, apart from the Frostbite.
They don't actually have a single hard stun between them until Visage hits level 6.
Yeah.
And that is it. That is the only stun in this game. This is like it's like low priority queue. Is that not what it's like?
Well, apart from the Crystal Main, I mean, this Frostbite is still going to be really nice, but I mean, it's not a hard disable. You can still cast spells, so you're not going to be completely safe. But I feel like that's really what's missing.
Yeah, neither team quite has the hard lockdown to actually kill anybody. Both teams have sort of semi-tanky or difficult to kill heroes. For instance, we have Bristleback, we have Viper, we have Lifestealer, we have Weaver. And both teams have heroes who are really good at supporting that. They have a Lich on the side of Oslic Gaming, they have an Abaddon on the side of aSpera. I kind of favour Oslic Gaming this sort of situation, not only because they're already ahead on the kills wise, but also because their heroes actually scale a lot better after the laning stage, other than perhaps the Weaver, who can be really, really useful versus the Lifestealer, but he's had a pretty bad start so far.
Yeah. I mean, he's died once, he's sitting on 1300 gold, he's got 44 last hits, which is not, it's not the end of the world, it's not entirely bad, but it is, well, it's not as high as I would hoping he would be, and that death really hurt him, really set him back quite a bit. And now also he is lacking supports because all his supports has actually rotated bottom. So he'll be getting even more behind. Even though on last hits he's still third highest on the charts, which is still third highest for his team as well, because everybody of aSpera is higher than everybody of Oslic Gaming. And perhaps right now aSpera gets themselves a tower as well, but they have got some TPs incoming, Chomi being one of them. Crystal Maiden as well. Can they fight this tower? It still goes down to Wall Eater. I think that's with that aSpera backs off. They got what they came for.
Yeah, they've got everything that they could possibly get there. Other than perhaps a kill on the Viper, but not a Viper, the Venomancer, sorry. See, I'm getting confused with all these poison heroes now, because you said you liked Viper and Venomancer.
Yes. Well, that's confusing. I understand. And both start with the
I shouldn't
V as
really
well.
get confused.
Viper and Venomancer. Yeah. Did you call him Venomancer or Venomancer?
I think you have to be an absolute heretic to call him Venomancer. That's awful.
Well, that's a
Who
kill
calls him
for the Timber Saw
Venomancer?
at least. He kills off Lich. Big Nom opening up on Sharpik still though, but he's got Timber Chain. And he's actually going to be in some trouble himself. Tries to TP himself out because that's what you can do in this lineup. Well, that's boring. In the meantime, bottom lane, Wall Eater might try to do the same thing. He's got a mech. He's going for the Crystal Maiden. Gets him. Mech. There he goes. Tries to TP himself out. Off of Tron. Gets it out. Gets out. Gets a kill. And now it's 4-4. And another tower going down. This is the second tower that goes down on the side of OSG Gaming. aSpera is slightly creeping ahead here in this game. And Gods actually calls it Venomancer.
Well, Gods is a heretic then. That's the only solution.
Well, Venomancer got a kill with his poison. Taking off the VIII. If it's called Venomancer, then I would expect an I instead of the E.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Like yeah, I think Veno calls himself Venomancer. I don't know. What's he actually call himself in game?
Like Venomancer. Like in poison
exactly.
Language.
Tower is under attack.
Poison language.
Well, yeah, he's got that snake language going.
Okay.
Viper has the same kind of
I feel like there's a Harry Potter
voice.
joke then. I feel like there's a Harry Potter joke in there, but I don't know. I can't think of it quite right.
Oh,
and Sharpik actually.
What's the English word again?
Sharpik is the king of weird items.
What's wrong with Sharpik's items?
He's picked up a power treads and vitality booster here. He's just gone pure tank in the early stage of the game. Just wants to kill people, I guess.
Hoping for sustainability and trust Viper to do damage. Viper, who might actually be in some trouble right now. Viper uses the mech, tries to run, tries to slow down Tron as he goes, gets a shield, gets a heal, and it looks like Lich is going to be the first one to drop there. Bristleback might be the second, tries to get away. Choma is still getting the Viper as a kill, but it's 2-for-1. Viper going down for, oh, it might actually be more. It's not over just yet. Weaver goes down. Chomi able to help out, but Crystal Maiden with the last hit. In the end, it's 2-for-2 with actually favorable for OSG because they got 2 cores and we only lost 1 core in return.
Yeah, we've really seen Cat4KM just play a little bit over-aggressive several times here. He should be checking the inventories of, for instance, the Crystal Maiden, who I believe was the one who put down the sentry then. It might have been the Veno, I didn't really see. But we've seen him several times here just go really, really aggressive into sentry wards, into towers, and he's died a couple times from this. This is... Considering he's going to have to be his team's sort of physical damage in the late game. He's also the counter towards the Lifestealer. I don't know, he's been a little bit too aggressive for me.
Yeah, that was... I mean, that fight was about over and they could be happy with the result because they got 2-for-1. They got a tower, and that was their cue to back off. And they even had a chance to get the Lifestealer perhaps still, if the Weaver was actually with his team and also focused on that hero. But he was just too far in, and he threw the advantage. Of course, they still got a tower, which is really nice because they've got that more map control going now. Only tier 2 tower left standing for OSG. But they didn't have to lose the Weaver in that case. And Weaver, of course, still not really having any real items to talk about apart from the treads. And it looks like we might have a Roshan going down here. Bristleback and Chomi trying to take it down. They don't have that minus armor thing going here unless Lich has got
from
one.
the Viscous Nasal Goo. Viscous Nasal Goo gives minus armor.
Yep,
I know, it's something that people really, really forget about. It's something I love about Bristleback is that he does actually have real skill synergy. The only problem with him is his awful, awful stats, particularly on strength. He has a 2.2 strength gain, which for a hero that you refer to as tanky is actually rubbish. But yeah, he does pick up the Aegis there, so that'll be really strong for him. And I don't know how they're actually going to deal with this Bristleback now. He's already picked up a Vanguard as well as a Cloak. Don't know where this Robe of the Magi is going. Actually going to be a Blade Mail, so he's literally opting for the sort of traditional tank style, which isn't something we see in Dota because it's not really a role in teams anymore. It used to be, I believe, a very long time ago, but that was when everyone was bad at Dota.
Yeah, good old times. Whoa, Lich just got blown up. Sharpik, by the way, he's picked up a Rod of Athos with that orb. Oh, Tron might be in some trouble here. In comes the Poison Nova. Lich open pouncing around as well. That team fight is insane, but it is actually OSG that is dying one by one. We just it goes down for the second time this fight. Wall Eater tries to get himself out. Still is slowed down. Doesn't have the poison from the Venom on him anymore, and it's just Tron that can kill him off. With one more Quill, he might be able to do it. No, it doesn't reach him. Viper lives. It is 3-for-1. I want to say 3-for-1. It was actually 4-for-1, considering that it is a Lich that died twice that fight. They don't get the tower this time, but they do back off in time without overextending. That fight, I really thought that OSG was going to take that. The Lich ultimate was good, the Poison Nova went through everybody, and they just didn't die. Mechanism of Viper making the difference there. That was...
Yeah, they've built for a really, really tanky lineup, and I love this item pickup on Timbersaw. I said it in the last game, you don't have to go Bloodstone every time. He's decided to go for a Rod of Atos. It looks like he probably will go back for a Bloodstone,
yeah.
But I really like this item pickup. The Rod of Atos just gives him a ton more utility. It allows him to chase just that little bit better. It allows him to sort of, you know, somebody who's on the edge of the fight, or somebody who you don't want to have to deal with right now, you can want to deal with them in 10 seconds or so, because Timbersaw can very, very quickly switch from target to target. Rod of Atos is great for that, and it's only on a 12-second cooldown as well. That item's been buffed to hell, because nobody but AOI 2000 was... Finally, somebody else has bought it, and it looks like we're going to have another team fight over this tier 2. And it could go even worse for Oslo Gaming here, because they don't have their team fight ultimates off.
already slowed. Familiar Disable's doing work there, but Chomi did not die. Weaver going in, careful there. In the meantime, tower is going to be their priority. They will be taking that one home.
And with this, Cat 4KM has enough money for the Perseverance as well as the Ultimate Orb for his Lincoln Sphere. So despite having a bad start, he is going to start catching up to this. And as I said before, Weaver, a perfect counter to Lifestealer. He's one of the heroes who can absolutely show the weakness of the Lifestealer, in that he can just kite him around all day. It doesn't matter that he has phase boots. It wouldn't matter if he even had a Sanjanyasha and a drums. You're never going to get a hold of a Weaver without somebody sheeping him or stunning him, which is something they don't have on the side of Oslo Gaming.
Good luck with that.
They're going to need a Basher or something.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Bristleback picking up a Basher, to be honest. That would fit him.
Yeah, it fits him relatively well. Early on, he has really bad attack speed, but as things start going on, as he stacks a bit more Warpath... Actually, no, Warpath doesn't give him attack speed. It only gives him movement speed, so Basher is a great item for him, but...
Wall Eater is gonna go down. He's not gonna get the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden hides. Maybe still. Maybe still. Oh, cannot TP out. Oh my god, Life Steering infested into a creep. He gives up. Ha! He just says, screw you, Crystal Maiden. I'm out. Well, that happened.
Yeah, that was a really great play by Wall Eater then, because he was actually baiting the whole time. He held onto his mechanism, he didn't use it. He wasn't even buying items until after they actually got the kill on the Crystal Maiden. So he was very confident that things were actually going to go his way. A really nice combination play from him and Cat 4KM, who just turned up in the nick of time to help them get that kill and to keep Wall Eater alive. And the Lifestealer is still inside them. This might be their only way of initiating this next fight.
It's a decent way though, infesting out in the middle of everybody, but they really need some backup. And Sharfik is making sure that nobody can back him up. The creep will live through this tower going down though, and that's gonna be a blessing for that Life Stealer right there. Yeah, we're still sitting in that creep. His Animite is on cooldown, there you go. He gets out. In the meantime, bottom lane does get pushed in though.
Man. Yeah, they do lose the tower for that. Bignum, I mean, it's a cute play to get out of there, but it doesn't really actually achieve anything for him other than keep his Midas on cooldown for a bit longer than he wanted, so not exactly the best for him.
And we just see aSpera do the same thing as we saw happen in the previous game, or at least at the start for Flipside Russia. They just take down all the towers. This will be the last tier 2 tower picked up. Of course, there's no Roshan to take down in this point, so going high ground is going to be not easy at all unless they win a big team fight right now, in which case they can just do that. Lich Ultimate bouncing around, Big Num trying to open up a Wall Eater who's already popped the mech. Lich Ultimate still bouncing around. That Timbersaw, by the way, just jumping in, taking care of the Lich, looking for more. Can they find someone? Big Num taking a lot of damage, and he will end up dropping there, getting slowed again by Sharfik, who goes for Tron right now, and Blade Mill or not, here they come. It is 3-4-0, and nobody died on aSpera. They can just march high ground if they want to. They don't have the mechanism for 20 seconds though, but I'm not sure if they need to.
No, aSpera have a really, really great sustainable tanky lineup here. I absolutely love their lineup with this. It was a little bit weird during the laning stage. Things have been a little bit odd, but things are going really well for them once they've started snowballing. And I'd just like to say, Rod of Atos helped them get the kill on the Lifestealer. It's legit. Everybody in the chat who says it's bad can do bad things to themselves.
Well, Sheffield picked it up yesterday too. I think they won with him with that Rod of Athos yesterday as well. So I really like it. It's working out great, and of course, I mean, I'm kind of sad to say, but a Venomancer solo mid didn't really end up working out all too well.
Yeah, it's fantastic in laning 1v1. The problem with it is he doesn't scale very well at all with items. There are a few things that you can get. You can get yourself Aghanim Scepter, you can get yourself Blink, even Shadow Blade with it, but really, these are all sort of items that you can work up relatively easy just from maybe one good team fight, rather than having it as part of your, your overall game plan. And as well as that, he's really squishy at this point. He's picked up Treads and a mech. He's still only on around 1100 health. Compare that to the Timbersaw, who's up to 2k already. I mean, Timbersaw's a tanky hero, but Venomancer is very squishy.
Tanky hero with a regen rune, as he now has got his soul booster ready. So getting closer and closer to that Bloodstone. aSpera moving towards the bottom lane, might be trying to go for a gank upon Tron, but Tron has actually scouted out, or at least his spider senses are working. And he realizes something might be off here. He'll see it. He'll see them soon. He'll see the Timbersaw. He'll TP out. Oh, the familiars might actually scout him out. They see him. The blade mill is on. They're gonna go for him. There's no way he's gonna run out from this one, or is there? Maybe they can. Relevatos. Of course he cannot. There's no way. He dies.
Relevatos. Yeah, that was a really weird decision from him. He knew everybody was missing on the map. He's pushed up past the river, and then his immediate reaction is to blade mail. That's not going to help. I mean, TPing is going to be hard because of the familiars. You're probably going to get stunned, but you may as well at least try.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit of an odd decision for him to make there.
I mean, it was nice that he realized something was off. That's why he was hiding, but he had the time to TP out. He did.
Yeah, see, he hasn't quite got Spidey senses.
Wow.
He's just got, like,
we just zing.
wow, aSpera's Sharfik is just crazy aggressive.
That's gonna be Weaver getting a kill. Looking for Show Me. Show Me is first away. At least doesn't die just yet, though. But the time lapse did get used by the Weaver. I'm not sure how much it will matter, though, because it looks like aSpera is just taking control of this bottom lane of Rax. Show Me wants to get in range for his Poison Nova. Gets two with them still, but goes down regardless. Obi-Wan Banan running for his life. This Poison Nova still doing some work, but the mechanism comes out. Of course it does. And that's gonna be infested Lifestealer, because he had to get away, hoping that Tron can take him to the fountain, but it doesn't look like he's gonna be that lucky. Maybe he is. Chakram, that'll do the gale, do the job. Sharfik double kill beyond godlike, why not, right? He is doing insanely well. He's 10 for 0 at this point. Looking for Chomi once again, who just bought back. Mechanism will keep him up for the moment, but Wall Eater doesn't care about towers. Gets himself
Sharfik is gonna die to the tower. He
Oh.
finally goes down to the tower.
The first time that he dies, and it's because they were too greedy for the kills rather than greedy for the buildings. And actually, they back off with that. We just think will still go down from the Viper Strike. But that was a fight definitely won by aSpera, but because they were greedy, they did not get anything. I mean, the towers are still standing, and in come the pings.
You can see them pinging.
Yeah.
They're really, like, why did we just make that decision? They know the issue they had with that decision making in that fight, but these sorts of fights are really putting the hurt on Oslit Gaming. There is hardly any item progression on the side of Oslit Gaming. Lich, no upgraded boots. Obi-Wan Banan, no upgraded boots. To Poe, or what did you say his name was? Tron. Tron is, he's sitting on the Blade Mail and an Ogre Club, which he's had for like 10 minutes now. The Lifestealer, he doesn't have anything. He picked up his Midas a while ago. He's can finally finish off a drum, but it's 26 minutes into the game. Their team are really, really hurting from all the deaths they're taking right now, and you can see it by the net worth. They're miles behind.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. They have got maybe a bit of extra gold now with the Night Tower, but it's still the Night Tower, so it's still not going to be something that they're going to be happy with. We do have another Roshan up, though, and that might be, or at least in a minute's time, that might be something that OSG can use to get ahead, as they will not get that familiar. If they get an Aegis, they'll still have a chance. Otherwise, if aSpera gets an Aegis, they go high ground again. There's very little that Oslit Gaming can do, and on top of that, I think that aSpera kind of learned from that previous fight right there, and will just, you know, be efficient, take down the buildings, and just try to end the game with that last push, if you need. That is going to be their last push with an Aegis.
Yeah, we hope they learn, but I mean, the side of aSpera, if there's one thing that you can rely on them to do, it's to be incredibly aggressive. They're already going straight into Roche Pit here. They know they've been seen. They're just going for it. This is classic for them as far as I'm concerned. This is what defines them. They go straight into the Roshan Pit, even though the enemy team knows they're there. They don't care. Just run. Just run in there.
Yeah, they know they're ahead. They are actually 8k gold ahead. Experience-wise, it's only 5k. But ahead enough to feel confident enough to just go in here. And indeed, Roshan will drop Aegis for Sharvik. And I think with that, I'd say make sure that the lanes are pushed out and then go bottom once again, where that tier 3 tower is already almost down.
Yeah, it seems like that's going to be pretty much their only way of doing this. The tier 3 tower's on like 150 HP. It'll die in just a few seconds. One thing I'm a little bit confused by is that Weaver went all the way through going for the Perseverance. He had enough money to buy himself a Lincoln Sphere and was like, no, I want a Black King bar now. Bit of an odd choice. I mean, it'll be really helpful for him. I feel like, though, with an Abaddon on your team, it's really not necessary to go BKB as well as possibly... Yeah, he's going to go BKB Lincoln Sphere. He could... Defensive. This is very defensive from him, which is odd, considering aSpera are only aggressive. They don't know anything else.
Yeah, it is surprising to say the least. Perhaps he's gonna turn that into a Manta. It could still be. Maybe we're never gonna find out.
Perseverance on its own is one of the most cost-inefficient items I can think of.
Well, maybe we'll never know. If they end up in this game right now, right here, which by the looks of it they have a mind for, then we'll never find out. We just Zik getting slowed, still throws out his ulti. We'll get juked here, maybe not, maybe just bouncing around because it can. I don't think that they matter. They don't mind at all. Maybe Wider will still get dropped. The shield though saves his life for the moment and he will end up living. Crystal Maiden not gonna be so lucky that it's already 3 dead. As Wider gets chased down by a Lifestealer, but shields and heals and oh my god, he lives. Tron, he will be the one to die, the last one, but there's 2 buybacks, 3 buybacks. Can they make a difference here? Can they save their Rex? I have my doubt. They have their doubt. They call GG. It is aSpera winning the game here today in the second game of day 2.
They're too slow. The difference is obviously the Rod of Atos. They're just too slow. That's obviously the difference here.
Yeah. Oh, hey look, he dies.
Yeah, that was pretty much a suicide. Blade Mail was on Tron then, and he was just like, I want to die. But great gaming from aSpera there, and pretty typical from them. They go really, really aggressive, and they do manage to take out Oslic Gaming here. Things were a little bit shaky at first, but I really like the play from aSpera there, tempering their aggression just a little bit with some more tanky item choices, and winning without Storm Spirit, which is always good for them.
Yes. That is something that they can every time be happy about, I think, especially since last season. I don't think they won a single game without him, but yeah, definitely. Sharvik also very good in that team herself. Another hero that is, of course, prone to big movements and such, so perhaps in that way a bit similar to the Storm, but yeah, he's got that hero under control. We are going to jump ourselves to the next game. We are actually ahead of schedule this time. Yay to us. Next game is scheduled in about 15 minutes time. We'll see 2 new teams. It is Power Rangers up against Poseidon, and this game, the next game, is actually going to be my highlight of the day because I'm really looking forward to seeing Power Rangers play again. And yeah, they are definitely a team that always delivers in terms of entertaining games, and I'm hoping that, or I'm assuming that they're going to do that next game as well. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more StarLadder for you.